Good morning, dear students. Hope you all are doing well. Today we are going to start a new chapter, that is the fundamental unit of life. It is the first chapter of biology of class 9. So without any further delay, let's get started. The fundamental unit of life. That means what? Whenever we see any type of things, any type of living things or any of the molecules, any of the compounds, first of all the things comes to our mind is that how it is made up of, what is the thing by which it is made up of, what is the smallest constituents of that particle. Suppose it is one of the pen, it is made up of plastic. How can we see or how can we think that it is made up of which particle? It may be made up of many of the small plastic particles in the chemistry. Okay, let us relate it with some other subject, that is chemistry. In chemistry, we see that any of the molecule or compound is made up of its small constituents, that is known as atom. We all know that. Okay, so it is an atom, and we know that atom is the most smallest particle of the whole universe. So it is a non-living thing. But when we talk about any of the living things, suppose a tree. When we are talking about a tree, we can also say that the tree is also made up of some of the smallest particles, but in the condition or in the what we can say, in the living things, it is not an atom, but it is a term cell. So cell is the most basic part of all the living organisms. All the living organisms are made up of cell. All the living organisms by means I say it is any of the plants or any of the animals. But now you will ask, if all the compounds or molecules are made up of atoms, how this tree and animals are made up of cell? How the cell is the most basic part of the living organisms, and in the case of chemistry, the molecules and compounds are made up of the most basic part, that is atom. Yes, both are correct. Atoms is in a sense of non-living things, but this tree and animals are the living things and they are made up of cell. Atom is a non-functional thing while cell is a functional thing. Now you can see atom does not perform any of the work. It is just an atom. It consists many of the atoms to form any of the molecule or compound. But we can say in the living organisms like tree and animals, they are having some functions. The most important is growing, reproduction. These are the two most basic functions of the cell. So now let's see the further things. You might have understood something about cell, that cell is the most basic part of all the living things. Now let us see what the cell is. A cell is the smallest part, or we can say basic, or we can say functional or structural part of life. Now by this means, these all things are only for the term cell. Why I am saying all these things? Because cell is the only thing which is the functional. Cell is the only thing which makes a particular structure of the organisms. A tree is also made up of cell. It is having its own different type of structure. And human being, we can say human being is having some different type of structure. A dog is having some different type of structure. An elephant is having some different type of structure. All are having different type of structure, but they all are made up of cell. And cell is the most microscopic entity of the living world. Now, this is all about the cell. Now let us see who coined the term cell, who first found the term cell. So let us see something about the history of the cell. Okay, so now we are going to see some history about the cell. So before going to the history about the cell, we have to remember some of the dates. Now, some of the years we have to remember, that is the first year is 1665 and the next year is 1674 The next one is 1831, then 1839, then 1838-39, then 1855, and the last one is 1940. These years are having some of the influence on the history of a cell. The very first is the most important because this was the year when the cell was discovered. It was a year in 1665. Robert Hooke was one of the biologists who has just discovered the cell in a cork cell, and cork is what it is found in the bark of the trees. He has seen the cell, he has seen some of the compartments, we can say. He has seen this particular cork cell in a self-made microscope. Self-made microscope, or we can say, as it was a very earlier time microscope, we can say it as a primitive microscope. Primitive microscope or self-made microscope. It was a very simple type of microscope in which Robert Hooke has seen the cork cell, and he found that some of the cells he has seen, he found that it is in a honeycomb structure. It is in a honeycomb structure. So you might have seen the honeycomb structure. So all the cells were looking like a honeycomb structure. I have just made it like this. You can see it is in a honeycomb structure. How the honeycomb structure looks like? It is in this shape. So it is a single cell I have drawn here. Most of the cells were arranged in this manner, and the Robert Hooke coined these compartments as a cell. Cell in a Latin word known as a little room. Cell is a Latin word, and it is, when it was used in 1665, it is still known as cell only to describe a particular compartment. So this was about the cell, and it was about all the 1665. Now let us come to the next year, that is 1674. In this 1674, there was one scientist named, or biologist named Leeuwenhoek. He, the biologist, for the first time had discovered a single free living cell in a pond water. What he has discovered? Single free living cell in pond water. So he has seen in 1674, Leeuwenhoek was the scientist who has seen single free living cell in a pond water. Now next year is 1831. 1831 was a year in which a biologist named Robert Brown told that there is a presence of nucleus inside the cell. He has used, as you can see, there is a difference of something around 200 years. So the self-made primitive microscope was now evolved, and in 1831 it was a microscope which is having some more magnification power. So Robert Brown has discovered the nucleus inside the cell. Now let's come to the next year, that is 1839. Here the biologist named Purkinje has coined the term protoplasm. And he coined the term protoplasm for the fluid inside the cell. In this cell there is a nucleus present, told by Robert Brown, and in this cell there is a fluid contents filled, and that fluid contents was coined protoplasm by Purkinje. Now in 1838-1839, the two biologists named Scallion and Swan told about the cell theory. In this cell theory, they told that all the living things, that is the plant or the animal, are made up of cell, and all the functions are performed by this particular cell, and the cell is the basic unit of life. All these things were told in the cell theory. Now in 1855, there was another biologist named R. Virchow. He told about or we can say he expanded the cell theory. R. Virchow expanded the cell theory and told that all the cells have derived from the pre-existing cells. Nothing cell is coming from any of the other way, but all the cells are coming from the pre-existing cells. That means what? The one cell was made by some of the chemical combinations, and from that cell only all the living organisms are made. So it is told by the R. Virchow that all the cells are derived from the pre-existing cell. All the cells are derived from the pre-existing cells. And it was in year 1940 when there was a discovery of electron microscope. Electron microscope. The discovery of electron microscope, which enables us to understand the more complex structure of the cell and to study the more complex structures of the cell organelle. So it was in year 1940. So let us revise the history of the cell. In year 1665, Robert Hooke was the first scientist who coined, or we can say discovered, the cell in a cork cell, or we can say cork cambium cell, by a self-made microscope that is known as primitive microscope. He has termed those compartments which he has seen inside the cork cell, he has termed those compartments as cell. And cell means a little room. A cell is a Latin word which means a little room. In the next year, that is 1674, Leeuwenhoek was the scientist. He discovered the single free living cell in pond water. In 1831, there was another biologist named as Robert Brown, who has discovered the nucleus inside the cell. In 1839, there was a Purkinje who coined the term protoplasm for the fluid inside the cell. In 1838 and 1839, Skellen and Swan told about the cell theory. In the cell theory, they have told that every living thing, that is plant and animals, are made up of cell, and cell is the basic unit of life. And in 1855, the cell theory was further expanded by R. Virchow, and he told that all the cells are derived from the pre-existing cells. In 1940, there was a discovery of electron microscope, which helps us which enables us for the study of all the microscopic thing, that is all the cell organelles in full detail. Now, as we have talked about the electron microscope, we can't see electron microscope here, but I will tell you something about the compound microscope. So let us see. This is one of the diagram of compound microscope. Here you can see it is a particular compound microscope. This particular part is known as eyepiece, and after just below the eyepiece there is a body tube. Just further behind the body tube there is an arm. You can see there is a arm by which we have to handle the microscope. And this knob is known as coarse adjustment. This knob is known as fine adjustment. Now you can see here there are two objective lenses. And this eyepiece, in this eyepiece we are having a lens which is helping us to see the specimen kept in the stage. And now this is a slide which I have made with dotted lines. Now there is a clip to hold the slide, and this is the stage where we have kept the slide. This is the arm. This is the mirror which reflects the light from this side. You can see the light comes here and it goes directly up to the eyepiece so that we can see the specimens very properly. And this is the base, as you know, by which we can keep the microscope. Always remember there are some rules to keep the microscope, to handle the microscope. You always have to grab the arm of the microscope and always put your other hand below to the base so that you can keep it very safe, and always keep very close to your body wherever you are going somewhere by taking the microscope. So this is all about the microscope. It It is the very basic for your biology lab also, how to handle the microscope. You have to learn how to handle the microscope. As the 9th class biology is very basic, when you will go in the further classes, you will know how to handle the microscope, how to see, how to adjust the specimens. In this year also we are going to see the microscope in a little detail also, but that is in the tissue chapter when we are going to see the specimens. So, thank you. That is all about today's class. Thank you.